can build a world anew. Hand in hand we make it true. Every thought a brighter hue. In our hearts we feel the groove. Turn our dreams into gold.
Right. Well, we are here today with Ramon Soriano. He is one of the owners of La Calle Tacos here in Houston, Texas. And we're going to be talking with him just a little bit about the new location that they are opening over in East River, which is in the Edo community of Houston. Ramon, if you wouldn't mind, tell us a little bit about the vision for La Calle Tacos. How did it come into existence?
Well, hi, Bryn. How are you? Thanks for this interview. Well, La Calle, I'm from Mexico City, born and raised right in downtown Mexico City. And La Calle is completely inspired on Mexico City street food. So you will not find nothing on our menu that you wouldn't find on a street stand in Mexico City. So we brought the authenticity. Some recipes I borrowed, some recipes I bought, some recipes I stole. But all of the recipes and everything that you will find in La Calle is specifically what you would find in a restaurant, in a food stand in Mexico City. We also have the cantina. The cantina is also a traditional downtown Mexico City cantina. So the vision for it is we want to bring that authenticity to as many places in the United States as we
It's awesome. Yeah, and it's definitely an authentic taste. If you haven't been, we definitely encourage you to go check it out. Let's talk a little bit about your fourth location, which is the one that we're working together on in East River. That's a unique development. It's along the bayou. So what made you choose this location, and what do you see as some of the unique features to this design?
Well, what we look in any locations, the vision of La Calle is to make all our guests fall in love. And that mission we follow through all of the decisions that we made. And when we were offered that space, it's really, really cool space in front of the bayou with the river and new development. So it's a very exciting, as soon as we walk through the location, we really fell in love with it. And that of the major decision makers. We also have a data company that matches up our, the possible guests on that location with our current location. It lets us know if a location is going to be comparable, if the guest space around that location is going to be comparable to where we're already successful.
Yeah, no, it's a huge part, I think, of business, regardless of type. If you're going to be choosing a physical location, that you need to make sure it's in a place where your customers are going to be able to get to you easily. This river, we've got basically the three distinct spaces within this design. We've got the taqueria, we've got the cantina, and then we have what we're calling the callejón, which is essentially an alleyway type of idea that connects them. So can you talk a little bit about how we came to this design and kind of the inspiration behind it?
Yeah, so let me tell you a little bit backstory about La Calle, the original location in downtown. I first opened with just a taqueria, right? And then the space next to me became available, and the landlord asked me to get that space at the beginning. I did not want to get it because I did not want to mess with the essence of La Calle. The street taqueria, you're like walking the street and it's you go, you pay and get your items and go and sit down, take your plates and sit down. I did not want to mess with it because we're doing really well. So when this opportunity came to take the place next door, I wanted to not mess with the first concept, and I wanted to make it almost two different spaces. And it played out really, really well because now you're Calle and you go into la cantina. It's very, very cool. So anyway, La Calle, we didn't want to mess with the concept. We didn't want to make like a bigger space and make it feel empty or different. So that's how I came with the idea of bringing that forward to space in East River. It really played out with your creativity about creating that callejón, which I think is a phenomenal, very on brand. I mean, what else do you think? Besides a street stand, a cantina, you need a callejón. That was missing in the element. So I'm very excited on catching and seeing what that's going to be.
Yeah, that's one of the unique and kind of special spaces that we've designed into this location. And I'm pretty excited about that as well. And I think it's one of those things where we can take something that feels almost like it it would have been a leftover space, and then making it absolutely. I think those are some of my favorite travel memories, just, across the globe where, we would go out and be sitting at a street cafe and there's, all the different sights and smells, maybe get a whiff of cigarette or exhaust, but then you get the food smells and, the people walking by. So yeah, I think it's really going to be a nice dynamic activated space for you. Do you have any advice for other restaurateurs or business owners who are looking to expand their existing businesses?
It's a really good question. I think that the major thing that I see in this industry per se, it's that 9 out of 10 restaurants, new restaurants, close within the first year, right? 9 out of 10 new restaurants are opened by people that don't have the experience in the restaurant business. It's very attractive. A lot of people want to open a restaurant because, it feels like fun and whatever. And most people say, oh, I have a phenomenal recipe and, my home recipe, my mom's recipe, and, we cook really well. Well, that's one piece of 1,000-piece puzzle, right? The recipes and whatever. There's many, 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 many more things that go into it. And without the experience in the business, it's hard to be successful. If you don't know all of the other moving pieces that take place. I have a good friend that is a brain surgeon. He's a neurosurgeon. Smartest person I know. And he says, when I retire, I'm going to open a restaurant. And I tell him, when I retire, I'm going to become a brain surgeon. We have the same the same amount of the success, potential of success.
Yeah, for sure. No, the restaurant business is hard.
Yeah. So in a nutshell, make sure that you understand the business, that you have experience in the business. And if not, make sure that you get on with an operator that understands the business.
I think that's great advice. Definitely going to share that with the restaurant clients that we work with and beyond. Well, then let's talk a little bit about the project again. We are going to be kicking off construction very soon here. So maybe talk a little bit about how the process has been so far and what you're looking forward to as we kick off construction in the next couple of weeks. Something really special that people are going to be drawn to.
For sure.
Let's talk a little bit about tying in business goals, because that's a huge part of why we do what we do, is to try to help businesses grow and thrive and meet their goals. So how do you envision this new location helping you reach those goals?
So our business plan is to open 10 restaurants in 10 years. That's what we have going on for company-owned restaurants. But also we launched the franchisee model last year. We started selling franchise. So what we envision for this location to become the prototype for that more exponential. Basically, I think having all of the elements put together as the downtown location and having all of those, I believe it's going to let us tell a better story and a more complete story of what the brand is and what the potential of the brand is.
I think, it's an interesting way to put it, because this location is really the only one that incorporates the taqueria, the cantina, the callejón, but also outdoor space. Your other locations have a small amount of outdoor space, but really this location and the development is all based along the bayou. How do you think that will start to factor into the overall La Calle experience?
We'll see. It's a new patio. It will become a phenomenal patio, a very nice area to sit down and be sitting in front of the bayou. And there's the whole complex has a little stage over there, so you can be sitting there when there's something going on the stage. So it's very exciting. Patio is kind of new to us, so we really don't know. The location, in downtown, as you said, it doesn't have a good patio, but our midtown location is in a park. And we know that people love, as you would be in the street, as being Mexico City in the street, you can go outside and be with a little bit of the wind and whatever, and feel that same experience. So I believe that this patio will give us a little bit of that street experience. I think it goes very closely to the brand goals and the type.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the process has been so smooth. That's the first when I think about what we've gone through since we started working together, the word smooth is what comes to mind, right? My business partner, Fernando, and I, we have a lot of experience in the restaurant industry and operations. We have zero experience in building, permitting, MEPs, and architectural and such. We have zero experience on that. So having Architect take us through all of this very complex process, and being able to know ahead of the time, ahead of the curve, what's coming next. I think it's been very good. I think that the something that I'm very impressed with you, Bryn, is the time frames, and you said like this is 3 weeks and it's 3 weeks, this is 6 and it's been 6, So all of that timing, which in when I've done this, I've opened already 3 places without a service like yours, and all of those time frames are so choppy, and I've ended up losing more money because of not knowing what's coming and all that. I've been losing more money than hiring a professional service.
Yeah, that's actually a really important point, for restaurant owners, or really for anybody who's going to be building out a space, that the professional services are one component of the overall budget, but time which you are either shut down if you're a remodel, or the time until you open if you're a new business, a new location, that can definitely eat into the bottom line. And most business owners don't really take that into account when they're evaluating their teams. So when it was time for you to make that decision on, the team that would be a good fit for you, what were the criteria that you were considering?
Well, the first thing that we thought about is understanding the brand, understanding what the feel of a Mexico City street stand is. It's the understanding and being able to factor in the project, the chaos, the chaos, the organized chaos that goes around a street stand, right? The organized chaos that goes around a cantina, like at like 100-year-old downtown cantina, and being able to factor in that chaos into the project, right? One of our points in our brand DNA is simple, economical, and replicatable. And it was important for us when we spoke to to understand that that's what the what we're looking for, something that we can do and replicate very, very quickly and easily.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So speaking of, the plans to franchise La Calle, I know we talked a little bit about how the East River location is really going to be the template or the basis of design. So how has that franchise process been for you? Have you gone through this and realized there are gaps in the model, or that it's really helped you dial in on what you do best? Or what has that process been like for you guys?
In the sense of franchising, as of now, it's been pretty transparent. Think we'll get better feedback as we build it, and as potential franchisees walk the space. We have good renderings and ideas of how it's going to turn out, but I really believe that until we're walking space, we'll understand. And to me personally, like I'm a taquero. It's hard for me to envision what it's going to come. How it's really going to look at the end of the project. So I'm not sure how that will pan in.
Well, is there anything else that you'd like to add that, maybe new restaurant owners, you want to give them some advice, or, people who are looking to hire an architect or designer, or some parting words of wisdom that you'd like to give us?
You never try to save money on an attorney, on a doctor, or on a designer architect. There's no savings there's no way to save money on those three. Sure. Just it's if you don't have a good department that really understands construction, not only construction, but construction in the market that you're going to be building, right? Because every market, permits and red tape and all of that is very different, right? So there's no savings on what a good, well laid out project cost will be.
Oh, fantastic. Well, thank you, Ramon. It was great having you today, and we look forward to coming and eating at the new location soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Rin.
Right.